Hi, my name is Rebecca, and today my group will be talking to you about the Mediterranean diet.
Hi, I'm Kirsten.
Hi, I'm Daniela.
All right, so what is the Mediterranean diet? It is a diet that is inspired by the countries that surround the Mediterranean Sea. So this includes Spain, France, Greece, and Italy. And while there is no single definition of the Mediterranean diet, it is typically high in vegetables, fruits, whole grains, beans, nuts, and olive oil. So, a little background on the Mediterranean diet. The benefits of this diet were first publicized by the American biologist Dr. Ansel Keys in the 1960s. He was the first to discover the cardiovascular disease can be related to our diet. And he conducted the 7 country study and noticed that the poor population within a small town in Italy was, against all predictions, a lot healthier than wealthy citizens of New York. The 7 country study was the first major study that investigated diet and lifestyle along with other risk factors for cardiovascular disease. The countries involved in the study were the US, Finland, the Netherlands, Italy, Greece, former Yugoslavia, and Japan. These countries contrast in lifestyles and nutrition, which was key to documenting the relationship with cardiovascular disease. The hypothesis of the study was that the rate of cardiovascular disease in populations and individuals would vary in relation to their physical characteristics and lifestyle, particularly in fat composition of the diet and serum cholesterol levels. From the study, the populations that adopted a diet based on the Mediterranean diet presented a very low rate of cholesterol in the blood, and as a result, a small percentage of cardiovascular disease. This could be attributed to the plentiful use of olive oil, vegetables, herbs, and other foods of vegetable origin rather than meat. So, as I've alluded to before, the typical components of the Mediterranean diet include dairy, plant-based foods, seafood, and fats. The diet emphasizes high intakes of extra virgin olive oil as the principal source of fat, vegetables, fresh fruits, nuts, and legumes. A moderate intake of fish, poultry, dairy products, mostly cheese and yogurt, and red wine. Low amounts of eggs, red meat, and sweets. So for the benefits of the Mediterranean diet, it prevents heart disease and strokes by limiting the intake of processed foods and red meat. It also encourages drinking wine instead of liquor. The Mediterranean diet also has been found to reduce the risk of Alzheimer's and Parkinson's diseases. It does this by improving cholesterol, blood sugar levels, and overall blood vessel health. The diet contains a high level of antioxidants and prevents cells from undergoing oxidative stress, which is a damaging process that leads to Parkinson's. Lastly, it protects against type 2 diabetes. With a diet rich in fiber, the food is digested slowly and prevents huge fluxes in blood sugar. The diet also helps to maintain a healthy weight.
So, the food pyramid just gives a different visual as to what Kirsten was just talking about. So, as you can see on the top of the pyramid, the foods you'll eat very infrequently will be meats and sweets. Weekly, you can have moderate portions of poultry, eggs, cheese, and yogurt. At least twice a week, you can have fish and seafood. And every day, you should base your meals around foods such as vegetables, fruits, whole wheat grains, olive oil, beans, nuts, legumes, and seeds, herbs, and spices. And with any healthy diet, you should be physically active every day. So I'm going to highlight some meal ideas you would eat on the Mediterranean diet with a 7-day meal plan. So to start off a week, on Monday, you could eat Greek yogurt with strawberries and oats for breakfast. For lunch, you could have a whole grain sandwich with vegetables. And for dinner, you could have a tuna salad dressed in olive oil with a piece of fruit for dessert. On Tuesday, you could eat oatmeal with raisins for breakfast, leftover tuna salad from the night before on a whole grain pita. And for dinner, you could have lasagna made with lean meat. And as I said before, lean meat, if you use like lean turkey meat in this recipe, you should try to limit that to once or twice a week. Other meal ideas would be like for Wednesday, you could have vegetable omelet, another whole grain sandwich, and for dinner, you could have leftover lasagna. On Thursday, you could have yogurt, a nice big salad with vegetables, olives, feta cheese, fish for dinner with brown rice and roasted vegetables. On Friday, you could eat stuff like eggs and vegetables, quinoa, grilled chicken, and whole wheat pizza made with cheese, olives, and assorted vegetables. And to finish off the week, on the weekend, you could eat foods such as oatmeal, leftover whole wheat pizza, grilled lamb with salad, and a baked potato with fruit salad for dessert. And on Sunday, you could eat egg frittata, quinoa with grilled chicken, or you could have fish instead. And for dinner, you could have a fish or turkey burger with a side salad. And like I said, exercise is important to living a healthy lifestyle no matter what diet you're on. So the CDC recommends 150 minutes of moderate aerobic activity per week or 75 minutes of vigorous aerobic activity per week. And these minutes can be broken up over multiple days, so you don't have to do it all at once. Examples of moderate activity include hiking, walking your dogs, and riding a bike. And examples of vigorous activity include running, swimming laps, and playing basketball. In addition to the aerobic activity, you should try to get muscle strengthening activities in at least 2 days per week. And muscle strengthening activities look something like lifting weights, vigorous gardening, push-ups and sit-ups, or some types of yoga.
So the Mediterranean diet can also be compared with the DASH diet because they have very similar forms of food that you can eat while dieting. So the DASH diet stands for Dietary Approaches to Stop Hypertension. So the DASH diet promotes overall health because the diet emphasizes the right portion sizes. The DASH diet also encourages you to reduce sodium in your diet. And this is why the DASH diet is great for people with hypertension or pre-hypertension to reduce their blood pressure, excuse me. And the health benefits besides lowering blood pressure are also to prevent osteoporosis, cancer, heart disease, stroke, and diabetes. What are the different foods for the Mediterranean diet versus the DASH diet? As we've seen before, the Mediterranean diet is high in vegetables, fruits, nuts, whole grains, and vegetable oils. Fish is also important for 2 servings weekly in the Mediterranean diet. Poultry and dairy are in moderation, and meats and sweets are less often. However, you may need an additional calcium supplement with the Mediterranean diet. In the DASH diet, there is a less total fat, saturated fat, and less cholesterol. The DASH diet is high in fruits, vegetables, and whole grains, and the protein comes from low-fat dairy, fish, poultry, and nuts. Red meat and sweets and other drinks are also limited. However, the DASH diet is high in fiber, potassium, calcium, and magnesium, so there's less need for a supplement. Which diet is better for you? Your ideal meal is hummus, tabbouleh salad, tomatoes, cucumbers, olives, and a glass of wine, and the Mediterranean diet is for you. Your ideal meal is a pile of roasted vegetables with a piece of grilled chicken on brown rice, and the DASH diet is for you. However, the DASH diet meal is also an acceptable meal in the Mediterranean diet. The stark difference with the DASH diet is the portion sizes and the fact that it's great for people with hypertension and pre-hypertension because the main focus of the DASH diet is to reduce your sodium intake. So along with dieting, you have to take into consideration metabolic adaptation. So what is metabolic adaptation? It is the body's starvation response. Their body's energy expenditure drops while dieting, so continuous dieting leads to the body thinks that it's going into starvation. So continuous dieting sabotages future weight loss through metabolic adaptation. Since continuous dieting resembles starvation, the body tries to compensate by reducing the amount of calories you burn so that there's more for the body to use. Dieting alone gives higher metabolic adaptation. However, it can be partially compensated for by introducing exercise into your dieting routine. Combining exercise and diet can help maintain calorie burn throughout the day, even when you're doing nothing. So in the Matador trial, they compared a continuous dieting group and a part-time dieting group. The continuous dieting group cut 33% of their calories from their diet, and they did this continuously for 16 weeks straight. The part-time dieting group cut 33% of their calories for 2 weeks, and then the next 2 weeks they went back to their normal amount of calories, but also included exercise in their daily routine. And this pattern alternated every 2 weeks for 16 weeks. So what was the outcome? The part-time dieting group had significantly more weight loss, about 11 more pounds than the group that did continuous dieting. The part-time dieting group also gained back 3 fewer pounds than the continuous dieting group. And finally, the part-time dieting group had more calories being burned each day than the continuous dieting group. So what are the effects of metabolic adaptation? There's increased weight gain after diet. There's a decreased number of calories burned. And there's an increased feeling of hunger and decreased effectiveness for diet for weight loss. People hit a plateau of losing 12% of their body weight. So this can lead to yo-yo dieting, which is the gain and loss of weight in rapid succession. And this has very negative cardiovascular effects. So then what is the best way to diet to avoid very negative effects of the metabolic adaptation? For the first 2 weeks of your diet, you can restrict calories. And then for the next 2 weeks, you go back to your normal amount of calories, but you include exercise. And then for the next 2 weeks, you go back to dieting with restricting your calories. And then 2 weeks after that, you go back to your normal amount of calories each day, along with exercise. And you continue in this pattern until you're done with your diet. So this is the end of our presentation. These are the resources we used, and I hope that you learned something very important about the Mediterranean diet and its health benefits.